Hello everyone, this is Kim Quady with KimPlaysWithPaper.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mesa, Arizona. And today I'm continuing with my Christmas in July offerings to show you some things if you want to get started on your holiday cards. It's kind of a tradition that I and a lot of other people have done in July. So I'm going to be showing you a handful of card samples that I created with a brand new set from Stampin' Up's online exclusives. And I'm going to show you kind of my evolution of a card, how I got started and where I ended up. So thanks for joining me today. If you're going to pop in live, let me know you're here. If you watch the replay, I love that as well. Let me know if you have any questions as we go along. So let me get started. We'll pop down to the workplace here to my craft table. All right. And what I am sharing today is the Jolly Holly bundle, and that is part of Stampin' Up's newest online exclusive release. So this is a photopolymer stamp set, meaning all of the images are clear and see-through, making for easier placement. Also, it allows you to put, this one's a word builder or a sentiment builder. So you have some already done up sentiments, holly and jolly, joy, but you can make happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. So you can mix and match all of these sentiments to say what you really want to say. Hey, Chris, thanks so much for popping in. What I also like about this stamp set are these two here. They work really well for sayings for the insides of your card. Hey, Vicky, thanks for popping in today. So this is part of a bundle. Oh, I also forgot to mention there are some bells, a poinsettia, I believe that might be, and some holly and berries. Hey, Angela, thanks for joining. So, and Gina, awesome. So that's the stamp set, and then it comes with a couple of other things that are really great. So this is the Jolly Holly 3D embossing folder. So it embosses an image just like that. That's in Lost Lagoon. That's also silver foil. In addition, there are die cuts. So you have some rectangle frames, the word joy. This is for your jolly, your holly jolly, and the bells and the poinsettia. Hey, Avis, thanks for popping in. And then you have this interesting little piece right here. Well, I'm going to show you what that does, because that really, these hybrid 3D embossing folders from Stampin' Up are really, a wow. I had to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. These really are amazing. There are several different options available. So what you do, hey Colleen, is the die cut fits in the label side where the Stampin' Up logo is, and it kind of locks into place lightly, and then you put your card stock in, and oops, sorry, knocking, not a lot of space here. Then you put your card stock in the folder, and then run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So you need your plate 1 or your base. The folder goes in fold side first, and then it's plate number 4, and then run it through here, and I'll show you what happens to that when you've die cut it. Now mine moved a little bit, but no, it did not. So it gives you some little dimension. You could take your bone folder and give those holly leaves a little curling, and then you would use this for a background. So this is the Holly Jolly 3D embossing folder. What I also noticed, and I did not get a card ready for this, but if you would gently just pull on the little pieces of paper, you can get those to pop out. So you could use those as accents on a card. You could color the berries, a lot of different things. But that is how that Jolly Holly 3D embossing folder works. So it's really lots, and I just, again, I tell you this every time, but I just scratched the surface of what you can do with this. I think I could craft for a week and not exhaust all of the possibilities. But let me kind of show you the evolution of a card. So I sat down. Hey, Barb, thanks for joining. Hey, Kathy. I sat down. I thought, what am I going to do with this set? Trying to be creative and try some new things. So I started with a layout. This is kind of how my brain works. I thought, all right, I found a layout that works. What do I have for designer series paper? So this is the first card. It's crumb cake. I decided to go with the crumb cake base. This is the Seasons of Elegance designer series paper. A little bit of gold foil. I embossed the joy sentiment with heat, gold heat embossing, and then I thought, oh, the bells are super cute. Let's use that. So then I put a sentiment on the inside, but I'm like, but what else could I do? I'm not sure I really like how that turned out, but okay, what's next? So then I decided, well, the other design in the Season of Elegance is the pretty peacock with the gold. And I thought, oh, well, that's gorgeous. So I stepped it up a little bit, and this time I chose the Mary sentiment that is in that set and heat embossed it on with gold. So you can see some of the elements are there, the same size background, but I added the gold foil layer underneath, and added some ribbon instead of the bells. I wasn't sure I needed gems on this one, so I just left it be. So I thought, oh, I really do like that, but what else could I try? I thought, well, maybe the edges here, maybe those. Hey, Ruth, hope all is well. Thanks for popping in. That maybe I could jazz up the edges a little bit. So then I changed this one up entirely. I stamped the holly in crumb cake ink all around the edge, embossed the gold foil, and then pretty peacock. This is where I used the Seasons of Elegance. There's the Mary again. And then I'm thinking, I'm not sure I'm really entirely happy with that one. I just thought maybe the crumb cake was too bright. So I'm just kind of going through my thought processes in how I created all these cards and what I finally end up liking. So then I used Versamark ink for the holly, thinking that the little lighter touch might be better. Again, that gold foil with the pretty peacock, and I decided to use the holly and jolly sentiment that time. So that's another iteration of that. Kind of going with the crumb cake, pretty peacock, and the gold foil. I figure if I get too much stuff out, I'll really confuse myself and have a real disaster. I mean, it's not that it's not a disaster right now, but so here is another version, and I do really like this one. So it's the crumb cake background, our gold, the pretty peacock embossed with a 3D embossing folder, holly and jolly, and then our gold circle. So I thought, what do you think? And I don't know. And so I'm going to make this card and give you the dimensions, and you can find the dimensions on my blog at kimplayswithpaper.com. But I'm wondering, what do you think? Do you think I should stamp in Versamark around the edge of that, like that one? Or do you like it? I'm kind of clean and simple, and I kind of like it like that, but I also feel there might be some value in stamping that. All right, let me know. I am going to get started with my ingredients. I do have to do some embossing here with that. I'll tell you what the items I'm using and the sizes. This is the Season of Elegance. That's my little strip, which measures 4 by 3/8 inch. I'll have my pretty peacock that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. I need to emboss that. And then the gold foil. So I started out with my sheet, which is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And then to save on my gold foil, I die cut my circle that I'm going to need from there. You won't know that center is missing. And then my inside piece is 5 1/4 by 4. And then my typical base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So I will go ahead and do that. Let me die cut too before I haven't heard if you think, do you like the edge around there, or do you like it plain? If you're going to make a bunch, I would go plain, but if you want it to really stand out, I might stamp that. Let's see. All right, so I am going to grab the embossing, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine one last time, so we can emboss that. So basically for this, I don't need the die cut inside, so I'll just be able to, do you like it plain, Angela? Thank you. Thanks for weighing in. So I'm just going to put my pretty peacock cardstock in my folder. And if you want to adjust it to get certain holly in here, and think about too, some things I haven't even done or put gems. We have those holly cherry cobbler gems. They were a big hit last year, and we still have them. So we just emboss that. And that just pops out just like that. And it has just such good, really good dimension there. All right. Again, if you need any of the measurements restated, please check out my blog at kimplayswithpaper.com. And that just goes pressed right over the gold. And then I will do the plain without, so it's not so... But know that your evolution of a card may be a whole lot different than mine, and how you create. But you can take one idea and make it into anything. Once you start playing, you just never know what is going to happen. All right, then I have my little piece of that. And I like the gold that stands out. That was Seasons of Elegance. That is available online as well. If you want to get a head start on your holiday crafting, I would check out Stampin' Up's online exclusives. If you don't know where to find them, give me a shout. Our holiday catalog goes live in the beginning of September, so if you want to get started now, there are a lot of really great online options that I can help you find. Oh, and Barb, you like it with the trim. It does make it pop a little bit. There we go. So I've already heat embossed the holly and jolly in the gold. I'm going to use our brand new 1 7/8 inch circle punch for that. Just finding that there. That's a fun new size punch for us as well. Then I'm just going to do a little bit of dimensionals popping up. Both of those. Sometimes go overboard with my dimensionals, but okay. And on that little bit of gold foil, how many of you get started on your holiday cards? I know we all have really good intentions to get started early, so now is your time to follow through. Lots of ideas out there. And I'm just going to pop that into the right-hand corner and also have a little bit of this really fun, I think it's 1/8 inch gold trim. It also, the same package comes with some silver trim as well. So you get both gold and silver in one package of ribbon. And I'll tie a quick bow with that. And I don't know if you want to weigh in on if you saw any of those other cards that you liked as well, or better. But I really do like when the gold not heat embossing, but just such a pretty folder. And that's what I love about the 3D. They really give some great impressions. Okay, and then of course gems. So for this I chose the adhesive backed metallic gems. This one has silver, copper, and gold. Silver, copper, gold. Yes, 3 different choices. So it's a good assortment to have as well. So I'll just pick a few up. And again, I need to get the other berries. If you wanted pops of cherry cobbler, you could grab the berries, the cherry cobbler berries. All right, then I just need a little piece for the inside. And as I mentioned earlier, one thing I really do like about this, hey, Sandy, thanks for popping in, about the Jolly Holly stamp set is the sentiments for the inside. And not that they're only for the inside, but they also, they do work well, I think, for outside or inside. And I'm going to change it up. The others I stamped with the crumb cake. I'm going to use the pretty peacock. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. So I'll just ink that up and practice there. Yep. And stick that right in the middle. And it still leaves you room to write a little note. That's very vanilla, 5 1/4 by 4. And put some adhesive on, and I have another Christmas card ready to send. That's when I get into December, and I love that I have this stack of cards that, oh, Kathy, you love sentiment. And this one, I don't know if you were able to view from the beginning, but this one has just so many, do you like the word builders where you can mix and match? I like the Holly Jolly and the Joy. You probably noticed that because I use that a lot. So there we have just some really, I showed you how my thought process worked from the beginning, making all the different versions and which one I settled on at the end. Just lots of ways to mix and match the sentiments and all of the images. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your day, weekend. And until next time, everyone, happy stamping. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.